I think this is a really good gift idea. It's actually 3 gifts in one. You get a candle, a piece of jewelry, and the element of surprise or anticipation. I'm on it, and I'm gonna DIY some Charmed Aroma candles. Charmed Aroma is the brand that I'm most familiar with, but there are other ones maybe that you've heard of, like Fire and Ice, Fragrant Jewels, and there's even one called Diamond Candles. This project is broken down into 3 steps: protecting the jewelry, preparing your container, and then melting and pouring the wax. I did do a previous video that just focuses on step number 3, the wax part. So if you're looking for a more detailed tutorial on that, that'll be linked in the description below. And now I'm gonna jump into step number 1. To protect your jewelry, you're gonna need parchment paper or wax paper and aluminum foil. And you're going to be making like a little packet like this. So let's get started. This is the piece of jewelry I'm using, and it already comes in plastic, but I wanna protect this from the heat. So we're gonna start with parchment paper. You're gonna cut a piece of parchment about 3 or 4 times the width of your little piece of jewelry. And same with the height. I mean, it's not exact measurements, but close enough. And then make a seam. Tuck that in. Make another seam. Fold that over. Let's tuck this piece up. This is an important piece right here, this one right here. And then you're going to, this seems a bit long, so if I double that and then leave a little bit, we can cut off the extra. And let's fold this to look like an envelope. I mean, it's not perfect, but it's kind of an envelope. And tuck that into the flaps we have here. And that kind of makes a shape that holds together on its own. Cool, eh? And we're ready for the tinfoil. Your tinfoil doesn't need to be as large as your parchment paper was. It just needs to be able to cover this up well. And then just wrap up your little package. Pressing down on the seams, nice and tight. The tinfoil protects the jewelry from the heat, and then your parchment paper keeps the wax off of everything. And we're ready to move on. The jewelry is safe and packaged up, so we can move on to the next step, which is getting the containers ready. I picked this container for Mother's Day because they get spring and flowers, and I just thought it was really cute and make a great candle. And I just need to add the wicks. So I picked these ones up off Amazon. They're just pretty simple, and you add stickers on the bottom and stick them inside. Pretty basic. Now we will be melting down candles, and there's always a wick in that. You can reuse that wick, which I probably will on another candle, but this one I needed 3 and I wanted them to be the same. So let's attach our wicks. It's a really easy step, isn't it? Jewelry and containers are done, so we can move on to step number 3, melting down some wax. I picked up this candle at Michael's, but you don't have to use one that's in a jar. You can use pillar candles or whatever leftover candles you have, like the leftover wax, melt those down. That's what I did in my previous video, and it works out great. But we need to melt this down in some gently simmering water. Like not boiling, just like little tiny, just to slowly melt it down. The slower the better. It's starting to melt. The wax is all melted, so it's ready to be poured into the container. And there's no reason to rush this. I'm actually going to take the wax out of the water and let it sit for a few minutes. If it cools down, your finish is actually better. So I'm going to let that cool down, and then we'll add the jewelry, the wax, and the candle will be, well, pretty much done. I'm ready to pour, and I have my jewelry packet. So I'm gonna pour a little bit of the wax in, and then I'm gonna drop in the piece of jewelry. I've poured halfway through, and now I'm gonna add my little piece of jewelry, and it does float, so I'm just gonna let the wax set for a bit, and then I'm gonna pour the rest on. And I'm using the skewers to keep my wicks from falling over. This layer is hard enough for me to move on. And see, it's already changed color, so I'm just gonna top it up. And that's it. Now I just need to let this set completely. And like that, the candle's done. Let it rest for about a week before lighting, and remember to cut down your wick to about 1/4 inch. Well, happy gifting. If you enjoyed this video, go check out my previous candle video and give this one a like. Thank you so much, and I'll see you soon with another project. Bye! Fire and ice, fragrant jewels, diamond candles. In another video, my hair's sticking straight out, so I'm gonna try to not have it sticking out. Okay, earlier, not in another, just earlier in this video. Okay. If you only knew that it took me like I had to stop and start 4 times just to get this outro. But it is sunny outside, and tomorrow our big project starts, and yeah, that's it. Okay, bye.